Welcome to the In Pursuit of podcast, brought to you by CBHN, the Christian Business Harvest Network. These episodes highlight and celebrate those who are passionately pursuing their God-given purposes, leaning into our faith to rise and challenge the boundaries of possibilities. Let's go.
Robin, thanks, man, for making the time to have the audience hear your story of turning what could have been a gory mess into something glorious through all the sacrifices and stages that you've been through in your journey. Welcome.
Awesome. Great to be on. Thanks for having me.
Well, there's a few things I want to cover off because I think there's some exceptional value in what you do, how you do, and how you go about enabling the work that you do. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey to get to where you are today? Now, I haven't told the audience yet about what you do, but can you rewind to that moment, hey, someday when I get older, I want to take on the workload of 5 human beings. What was that moment?
Yeah, when I was a kid, my one of the people that kind of poured a lot into me would always comment, Robin, you go at life like you're drinking through a fire hose. And that's certainly been true. I have always had a dual passion in my heart for disciple making and church planting on the one side, and entrepreneurship and technology on the other side. And going all the way back to my teenage years, I can remember wrestling with which one, what do I do? Do I focus on church life? Do I focus on business and entrepreneurship? Do I focus on science? And coming out of university, I'd helped plant a university church, and had also started a company. And
so hold on, you were wrestling with ministry, entrepreneurship, maybe getting a career, a normalized career, and then you jumped to coming out of university. No, there's something that you missed there, and what you missed there was, why did you decide to go to university? Or just because look, if you're going to be an homage, you may or may not need to go to university. If you're going to ministry, you may want to go to that seminary thing. So what helped you decide to go to university? Can you tell us about that and how that actually worked out?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think I just loved the sciences. I'd always had an aptitude for math and science, and I wanted to do something hard. And so I kind of chose what I thought would be the hardest program, the most challenging and the most interesting. But in the back of my mind, I also had considered, okay, if I'm going to live a life of ministry, I want to have my options open. The Lord may want to move me to a difficult place, a part of the world that maybe I wouldn't have access to. And so I figured reading the Bible is not that hard, but becoming an engineer will open up a lot more opportunities for me in the long run. And so So I committed to the work of going to do a nuclear engineering degree, in part because I thought it would open up a lot of opportunities globally.
Okay, so now, did you graduate from that program?
I did, yes. Yeah, a long time ago, but yeah, finished up. And
okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, he's a little older than he looks. Yes, he looks a little younger, but so we're literally chatting with a nuclear engineer. We couldn't have had this conversation and call you a nuclear nuclear engineer if you didn't take the time to actually finish what you started. Because look, we both know people who began down this path, but they've always had that tug on their heart for ministry. So they gave up on what they were currently doing and then went towards ministry without having the concept of it is finished. What kept you motivated to finish this, which you were in then, a nuclear engineering program, before you stepped into developing what Lift is today?
yeah, I think I had some wise voices in my life that said, don't choose. I would wrestle with the choice, do I do A or B? And they said, well, maybe you can have your cake and eat it too.
Wow.
And I think deep down, I wanted to be where the people are. I was concerned that if I kind of went the ministry route, I would get trapped in a Christian bubble. And I want to be where the lost are. I wanted to understand the world. I didn't want to be have my perspective too shaped by only a Christian kind of environment. I wanted to go and reach people. And so I basically chose to hold those two things in tension for as long as I possibly could. And it was quite a crazy ride, but it's been, I think, quite incredible, because now what's happening many, many years later, more than a decade later, is that there's dozens and dozens and dozens of other people that are now following that same kind of path of, hey, maybe the Lord has gifted me in a career, but that doesn't mean that I can't also be super intentional in ministry. And that gets into the story of Lyft. But yeah,
there is, and we are going to get to the story of Lyft, and we are going to get to the story of Engaged Spaces, because that's brilliant as well. But ladies and gentlemen, what you're hearing today already is, look, finish what you're in. You don't have to quit on it, right? Because there is this word that he's using or not using on purpose. He hasn't used the word or. He kept on using the word and. And you don't have to choose. You just have to have the character to last past those tough times that are going to visit you and perhaps everyone. But what are you going to do? Give up on it? God has enough time to develop you. And as a result of going to school now, being in university, you stumbled upon what now? Well, let me rewind even further. At what point in your, at what point did you meet your wife? Were you still in university, or had you already graduated at this point?
Yeah, we met at our university church. I guess I would have been in my second year.
Right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, are you hearing this? Your spouse might be waiting for you. I'm joking, but maybe. But chase it down. Don't give up on what it is, because when we're going to take a short break, right? So far, you know, Robin as the academic, nuclear engineering. Come on, yes, he's as smart as his hair is brilliant. Yes, definitely. You're hearing that he's a married man. You know that he operates an amazing business, and we'll get into what Engaged Spaces is as well. And he has launched a ministry called Lyft a number of years ago that has spread to more than 5 campuses, all because he served one organization well while he was in university. We'll be right back.
My name is Siddique.
Hey, it's Tracy Mighty.
Hi, my name is Albert Brandstetter. I am an investment advisor with National Bank Financial. I've been an advisor for over 35 years.
And the CBHN community has allowed me to connect with like-minded professionals that have helped reshape my career goals with the added benefit of strengthening my faith journey.
And CBHN has helped me uncover and rediscover the passion for entrepreneurship.
And I have to tell you, what I have learned and gleaned from the others who are part of CBHN has brought me to new heights, not just in my career, but personal life as well.
Come to CBHN every Thursday at 7 p.m. and you will see the amazing promises of God that He has for your life come to pass.
I think you should take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, Well Done, A Passionate Pursuit of Purpose is now available. This book was written so you don't have to leave your eternity to chance. It's for someone who is a little restless and simply looking for their next move, but doesn't know where to begin. If you feel like there is still more in your court to explore, and you want to experience the fullness of what was deposited within your DNA, then Well Done, A Passionate Pursuit of Purpose could be the very tool you need to send you in the direction of your destiny. Available now on Amazon and welldonebook.info. That's welldonebook.info.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, today we're in conversation with Robin Wallar. Not only is he the lead pastor at Lyft, but he's the founder of an organization called Engaged Spaces. And want to get into that just a little bit, Robin, if that's okay.
Love to.
Yeah. What is Engaged Spaces and what value does it represent to the market?
Yeah, so Engage Spaces is a software company that focuses on tackling the complexity of social interactions in enterprise scale organizations. And so, really practically, what that means is that
Please.
we are helping to help address the issues that can come from structures, reporting, blindness, collaboration, helping a leader, a team, an organization work together by figuring out who is who and who is doing what in an organization. So we become essentially the single digital ecosystem for large organizations and enterprise.
Okay, so now you're a nuclear engineer, so it doesn't surprise me that you use a lot of big buzzwords that are fascinating, right? And if part of break that down, this is a project that you've been working on for how many years?
We launched the company 2 years ago, but I've been working on it as behind the scenes for about 10 years.
Okay, so you've been working on it for 10 years, and then God brought you to such a strategic, amazing point in our world's existence called COVID, where now people were forced to work remotely because of the nature of the this cloud that was hanging over the globe. Now we're all dispersed. And God literally created the perfect window in which you could launch Engage Spaces. So from what I understand it to be, if you have staff and they're spread apart geographically, it's as if they're still working off the same page.
Yeah, exactly. And as you add more and more team members, the complexity of that goes like through the roof. And so how we basically don't just tackle the decentralization of people or the people working from home challenge, but doing that when there's a lot of them. And that's a really interesting problem.
It is. And I think you and I've had this conversation because we met a few years ago. We've had this conversation about we just feel as kingdom-minded people, we're called to solve problems. We're called to recognize that what ails the planet and be the solution and resolution to those things, because it's within our DNA to create, because when God breathed his very breath into us, he gave us that creative ability. Now, you would allow that to play out through Engaged Spaces. Who ideally, can you describe an ideal company that would benefit from what you guys do?
So the ideal organization for us would be an organization that is decentralized, has a large number of people scattered over a large geographic area. So we tend to work with everything from major retail brands to major nonprofits, any organization that is dependent on people and getting those people working together. That's where we are a really good fit.
Okay. And so in the couple of years since you've launched, in a very difficult, challenging time, but you became a shining light as a solution for businesses that were suffering. For how do you create that feel like I still feel connected through all my systems to the organization? How has business been going?
Yeah, it's been going great. Getting a software company off the ground is hard. Doing it in the way we're doing it as a bootstrapped company, we haven't taken any investor capital. We've chosen to just build it organically, which is highly unconventional in the software world. As it was challenging, but the hard work, the perseverance, the not giving up. In the last year, we've grown a ton. We've been able to partner with some incredible organizations across Canada and the US, and we're on a really, really great growth track.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a conversation with our nuclear engineer friend, Robin. As you heard, he's founded and launched a software company, and he spoke about an unconventional way in which to go about doing it. Bootstrapping simply means they're funding it out of their own bank accounts, effectively is what he means by bootstrapped. Now, what's also unconventional, when we come back from the short break, I want to chat through this because, wait, you also are the lead pastor of Lift Church, founded in Hamilton, Ontario as far as your first location, but now you're up to how many campuses?
We're just working on our 7th one launching this fall.
And you have the nerve to launch a software company and have a couple of babies that you're dragging around into the entire time, talking about his children, of course. This is Robin. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, want to renovate, buy, invest, or pay out debt? We can help by providing the best mortgage that will meet your financial goal. So call Les at 416-723-1313 and visit the website lesgomez.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, well done. A Passionate Pursuit of Purpose is now available. This book was written so you don't have to leave your eternity to chance. It's for someone who is a little restless and simply looking for their next move, but doesn't know where to begin. If you feel like there is still more in your core to explore, and you want to experience the fullness of what was deposited within your DNA, then well done. A Passionate Pursuit of Purpose could be the very tool you need to send you in the direction of your destiny. Available now on Amazon and welldonebook.info. That's welldonebook.info.
And once again, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we are here speaking with Robin Wallar. Fascinating already. We don't even have time to touch on all the learnings and applicable analogies that apply to nuclear engineering to the Word of God. We've also heard about Engaged Spaces. He's launched his own software company a couple of years ago, and thank God the glory is resting on it, and it continues to gain the exposure necessary to become a relevant tool in the hands of businesses across the country. And listen, if you need to take advantage of a collaborative tool, please reach out to him and his team. They'll be more than happy to demo the product for you. But this is all within the background, backdrop of funding what your real passion is. You're about to launch your 7th campus for Lift Church as a senior pastor. Is that satisfying or tiring?
Both.
Fair.
I think it's easy to, we don't plant the churches for any kind of self-gratification. I think it's easy to look at the incredible story of what God has done at Lift. And the truth is that every campus is a sacrifice for us. And yet, as we've just faithfully said, we're going to try and reach as many people as we can. Every time the Lord says, hey, here's an opportunity, we just say yes. And so it's exciting, it's exhilarating, but it's also, we do very difficult work. And very humbled that the Lord has given us the opportunity to do what we do.
Yeah, one of the principles that I've learned is anyone who accomplishes something great probably helped somebody else accomplish something great as well to begin with. And you were a part of a team when you were in university, and that's actually one of the things that you did. You actually helped plant a university-based church. Can you tell us about what that experience was like and how it really emboldened and impassioned you to continue to do that for all these years?
Yeah, when I was a first year, I joined actually the original planting team of what is now Lift Church. And I got to serve as just a team member for the better part of 6 years. Helped get it off the ground. We actually planted another church. It was not successful. We ended up shutting the doors on that. We navigated a number of leadership transitions. And after about 7 years of serving the church, my wife and I decided to say, well, we'll take the reins. And we basically restarted it at that point in time. But yeah, it was not like we just showed up and said, hey, we're the king. We actually, we changed the garbages. I cleaned the toilets in the university bar when we would show up. We cooked pancakes. We would, set up the sound system, and often all of that on the same night. And for year after year after year, we did that. And so, in order to be an effective leader, I think you're bang on, Shiraz. Learning how to be a good follower is sort of step one.
Yeah, there's probably a ton of leadership examples that you or learnings that you could share with us. Again, too much content for today's segment. I just want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to meet with who you are. And folks, if you're hearing so far what's happening, yes, he's a higher achiever, not just a high achiever, but a higher achiever. Most people wouldn't think about applying You heard what he said earlier. He just wanted to go to school to challenge himself, to do something hard, is what he said. Man, what could God do with a mindset like that? And if you're comfortable doing whatever it is that you're doing, is it time to challenge yourself? Is it time to squeeze the goodness that God has deposited within your DNA and get it out? Well, that's going to come with some pressure. The world will either pressure you to bring it out, or you can discipline yourself to bring it out. Robin, from a leadership perspective and just more of a discipline perspective, you say these things as if they're so a matter of fact. Like, yeah, nuclear engineering. Yeah, launch a software company. Yeah, 7 campuses. There's so much more. Obviously, you mentioned the word sacrifice a number of times. Okay. What did it cost to you in real terms to be able to take the path of what people would view as extremely successful in all 3 arenas: family, work life, and ministry? What did it really cost you, though?
Oh, the cost is significant. There's a financial cost. I could have made a lot more money if I had just stuck to software as a software developer. I could have moved to California, lived a good life, made a boatload of money, and had a pretty easy life. But I gave that up. I very early on realized that I was not going to make a ton of money in the software industry, at least not at that time, and instead chose to serve university students. It's meant saying no to a lot of relationships, good relationships, so that we could invest in the mission field that God has put in front of us. Choosing to invest in an 18-year-old student instead of maybe a former friendship, that's hard. We only have so much time, and choosing to put the lost as a priority is really difficult. Sometimes, people don't understand that. And then it's cost, just like every dimension of my life is built around mission. And so at one point, my wife and I actually sold our dream home to move into the middle of a student neighborhood. Took a huge gamble to do it, and people thought we were crazy. And you know what? It was the best decision we ever made. So you look at my life, and on the surface, the resume might look really good, but it's been paved by some really tough decisions where we've just chosen day after day after day to put the kingdom of Jesus and loving people as the first priority before everything else.
Yeah. Folks, I'm sure you were just as captivated as I was listening to what Robin just shared. It's going to cost you something. We're not here to mix words. We're not here to simply inspire. The Bible says this, before you build a structure, consider the cost, unless you're left with a building unfinished. And in my opinion, you guys have heard me say this so many times, the greatest words in the Bible, my opinion, not theology, my opinion, is when Jesus was on that cross and he said, "It is finished." What projects are in your life that are kind of halfway there, 3/4, maybe 20% of the way there? You don't think you have time? Well, here's another example of someone who understands what it takes to sacrifice. Most people have more time than they actually think. You probably have more time than you actually think. It's not about having the time. Will you make the time to chase down and pursue the fullness of God's desires for your life? Listen, if it's in software engineering, you just want to have a great conversation. Yes, I'm volunteering, Robin. Hello, he stretched because he's willing. Why? Because he has a heart of a pastor. If you're looking for a church to get involved with and support, I'm glad that you're going to your own church. But if you're looking for a ministry, I should say, that you can support, look, the amount of tithes and offering that an 18 and 19-year-old student can provide to their local church, it doesn't happen. Versus what career-going church members can provide. So if you're looking for a ministry that is investing in students in a worthwhile way, when leaders are present making the necessary sacrifices, here's a place. It's called Lift Church. Reach out. We'll have his contact information available for you in a moment, but reach out to Robin and his team. Get the information that you need. Look, you might not have the time, but if you have the dollars and the resources, at least start with that. Robin, thank you for always partnering with us here at In Pursuit Of. And if you were to fill in this blank as a last question, obviously you're on the In Pursuit Of podcast. And if I were to say to you in closing, in pursuit of, fill in that blank, what are you in pursuit of?
The kingdom of Jesus. Seek first the kingdom.
Robin, I appreciate you for investing in the lives of others in a worthwhile way.
Thanks, Shiraz. It's great to be on.
Thanks for joining us on the In Pursuit Of podcast. Definitely follow us on our socials and consider this your personal invitation to join our Thursday night CBHN Zoom calls at 7 p.m. EST as we challenge each other to pursue the fullness of what God has for our lives. And remember, Matthew 7:7 says, "Seek and you'll find." We pray you too will walk in the fullness of your purposes.